Okay, I'm just gonna put this right here. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put this right here. I'm just gonna put this down. I'm just gonna put this right here, and I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna walk away. This is me walking away. Oh my God, what a surprise! What a shock! Oh, gasp, amazement. I'm going to have a heart attack and die from the utter lack of surprise of this announcement. And all the people who are already upset about it, how dare they do this? What? Really? What a shock. Oh my God. Oh my God. What? I never thought this was going to happen, ever. Other than the fact they've been telling us that they were going to do this since 2020. Get over it! Announced yesterday, a Dungeons & Dragons VR game is being made. Hasbro is working with a company called Revolution Games to make the first Dungeons & Dragons VR game. What is Revolution Games and what do they have to do with VR? Apparently, they made a VR fantasy game called Demeo, Demeo. And they announced yesterday that they and Hasbro are working with each other and Wizards of the Coast. Notice that they mentioned Wizards of the Coast afterwards. And only the fact that Hasbro owns Wizards of the Coast, that they're working on a game. It doesn't say anything about the game, other than it's by the same people who made another game. Then they understand how VR games work, and they've made VR role-playing games. We don't know anything else about it, other than it's going to be a licensed D&D canon game using VR technology, whatever VR technology is available when the game is probably done. We don't know if it's going to be turn-based. We don't know if it's going to be top-down. We don't know if it's going to be rogue. We don't know if it's going to have any connection with any of the other D&D games that are coming out. All we know is it's going to happen, maybe. I mean, it's been announced. It doesn't mean anything either. They could cancel it and say, no, we're not going to do it. But it's been announced. And, of course, it's going to lead to a bunch of people going, how dare they do this? Oh, my God, I never thought they would do this. And other levels of either totally supporting it or complaining about it, and people taking Dungeons and Dragons and turning it into a video game. Why would Hasbro do that? I don't know. Again, because they've been telling you they were going to do it since 2020. But mark my words, before this week is over, we will see multiple videos about it, and most of them will be basically negative. And how dare Hasbro do that? And oh my God, how Hasbro is turning D&D into a video game. And of course, there's also been complaints about the company because apparently some people don't think the pre-existing game Demeo is a good setup for Dungeons and Dragons. Mind you, as of yesterday, when this was first announced, we still know nothing about it. We don't know if it's going to be immersive VE, if it's going to be top-down when you're looking at like a screen table representative type D&D, if it's going to look like the virtual tabletop that Hasbro is supposedly working on, if they're going to be able to cross-platform, if it's going to link up with D&D Beyond, or if it's going to be its own separate thing. We don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know what system it's going to use. We don't know when it's coming out. We don't know how many players the game is for. We literally know nothing except the company that is making it, supposedly, as of today, and the fact that they made a game in the past. And people think it was a pretty decent game, enough so that Hasbro is like, yeah, you could make our game. Here, let us give you some of the rights to the brands that we said we were going to do. And why don't you try making a VR game? Because, we said we wanted people to try and make that. And maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't work. I don't know. Let's try. What have we got to lose? It's not like we haven't been telling you we were going to do this since 2020. Why are you surprised? And, I don't know if I want them using that company because I don't know if that game's Demeo is good for D&D. Well, we didn't say we were using the Demeo engine. We don't know. We don't know what engine we're going to use. We haven't started yet. It literally got announced yesterday. All right, so raise your hand if you're surprised that's what's going to happen. Raise your hand if you're upset that Hasbro is making a Dungeons & Dragons virtual reality game. Raise your hands if you care. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, now we will wait for the onslaught of attention this non-story is going to get, where people will suddenly be surprised and angry over Hasbro doing exactly what they've said they were going to be doing for the past 4 years. Blah, 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 blah. Video game, turning D&D into a video game, blah, 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 blah. How dare they? Blah, 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 blah. It's not my D&D anymore. Blah, 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 blah. Literally having a heart attack and dying from not being surprised. I'm your favorite idiot, the OGGM. If you appreciate this content, let me know. If you don't appreciate this content, let me know. If you never want to hear me talk about Wizards of the Coast ever again, 2,000 subs by August 4th. 2,000 subs by August 4th. That's the goal. Till next time, stay safe out there. It's raining. Blah, 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 blah. How dare they do what they say they're